All right, so what the heck is a Chroma Luma split? Let me try to explain that real quick to you guys. All right, so here's an image that's obviously colorful, but at the same time, it has a lot of, dark and bright elements, not just the swimsuit, but the background, shadows in general, and of course, bright areas like the clouds and the highlights on her. There's a lot of things happening here. And for the most part, like for example, this is a good way I like to illustrate it to people. If you use your eyedropper tool and select like on her forehead, you get a tone. And if you select in the deep shadows here, you get a tone. See how dark it is, right? And you select here, you get a black outfit, you get the pinks there from the outfit and toned her skin. As I get deeper into the shadows here, I start getting almost effectively black. It's just a dark brown, right? You're doing a selection and you're getting a selection based on the hue and the luminosity, also known as the chroma and the luma. So when you separate chroma and luma, it gives you some opportunities to do things. In and of itself, it's not a master solution to everything, but it can be very, very powerful, and it's used by high-end retouchers all the time, splitting the chroma and luma up in different ways. So let's talk about the splitting process and what it looks like, because it can be kind of confusing if you're not familiar. So we have a couple of actions that are very, very basic in case you just simply need to do the chroma luma split and then whatever else you're going to do with it. Okay, they're right here. They're called NBP Chroma Luma Color Quick Separation, NBP Chroma Luma Color Quick Separation Reverse. Let me explain all of those, okay? The reason why it's called Chroma Luma Color is because that's the blending mode that must be used for that setup. Color blending mode. Let's go over that, okay? So let's run it. It's going to remind you that you should start either on the background layer or a stamped layer because it needs to start with pixels, okay? And continue, and we're done. The image does not look any different. But let's look at our layers. Let's look over here at our layers. We have a chroma layer and we have a luma layer. Let's look at them. If we look at the luma layer, it's pretty straightforward. It looks like a black and white version of the image because that's exactly what it is. But the difference is that this has not been created by the action by simply desaturating, by taking all the saturation with a hue and saturation layer and making it -100. That's not what we did. We did a process to make sure that we show true luma. Actually, true luma. They are kind of different. We have videos talking about that, but they are kind of different. This is true luma. On top of that, we have the more confusing one if you haven't seen it. Let's view it by itself. Ready? This is chroma. This is the color information. Remember, her bathing suit is black. It's gray. There's nothing there, right? There's no color. Okay, it's very neutral. Everything here is effectively a 50% neutral on luminosity, but it has hue, right? So you see all the skin tones, you see the purple in her outfit, right? So suddenly now, if I start sampling with the tool, I get colors, but as you sample into the shadows, you get less saturation. You don't get the darker version of the color because there's no luma info. Now, that separation of chroma and luma has a lot of uses, but it can be rather, like I said, esoteric and difficult to understand while we're doing it. The reason why it works, so we turn it back on, is because we're in color blending mode on the chroma layer. The reason why I mention that is that you can use color to do this process, to do the split, or you can use hue. But here's the difference. If I go to hue, it stays black and white. However, if I turn off luma, then it does work over the original color layer. I can use hue if I just want a chroma layer, and I can use color if I want a chroma and a luma layer to modify independently. There's different uses and reasons why, but I want to show you how that works. Again, this is not something I invented, but I put it into some actions because it has a lot of different uses. The first two here, where the quick separation is if you know what you want, you know how to leverage the chroma and luma in different ways, and you just need them quickly separated so you don't have to do the multiple steps manually, and you have them and you're done. Another option is Chroma Luma Color Quick Sep Reverse, because the same process can be done in reverse with different settings. So now chroma is underneath, but that's set to normal, and luma is on top, set to luminosity. Okay, different variations because there could be different approaches on how you need to modify your chroma and luma. So those are the two most basic ones, and I like to show those independently because if you do know how to leverage these, or if you learn from the other actions of what they can do and think, I simply want chroma and luma separated because I have an idea of what I need to do, then these actions let you do that quickly.